Michael Irvin and his lawyer just held a press conference to discuss their $100 million lawsuit against Marriott. The press conference was held just one day after Marriott's deadline for providing Irvin with the surveillance footage that depicts the interaction between him and the staff member at the hotel who has accused him of misconduct and ultimately got him pulled from the airwaves last month. The press conference was held on the morning of March 8th. During that press conference, Irvin's lawyer described his experience showing up at the attorney's office for Marriott to get a copy of the surveillance footage.
I want to talk about our attempts to figure out what happened and right the situation and what went from there, okay? Many of you have reported and seen the deadline to give us the information was yesterday. When I appeared yesterday to get the video, to see the video, I was not allowed to make a copy of it. I was not allowed to take a copy. I was not allowed to use my cell phone to make a copy. In fact, before I went back to view the video, I was asked to empty all my pockets and search me so that I couldn't have any recording devices. I absolutely declined and said I'm not going to do that, but I'm not going to record anything without your permission either. All during the viewing of the video, I was required to sit in a room with the other counsel, opposing counsel, watching me, seeing what I was doing. So I was not free to talk about what was on the video, and certainly I don't have a copy that I can even talk to my client about it. Now, what is so damning about a video that was taken in a public lobby that they're now using to try to destroy this man's livelihood and reputation, that they won't just release it? We shouldn't even have to be in court with this. Marriott, I believe, should come forward. And in fact, I made a statement to the Marriott Council that I think is pretty telling. I said, would you rather like the press to hear my description of what the video shows, or would you rather just show them the video? Well, clearly you know his answer by the fact that I'm here describing it to you. And so that I can lay the scene out for you. The video it appears to be from behind the front desk of the hotel. It's certainly a desk. It might be the concierge desk. Facing out this way, where on this side is the entrance to the hotel, main entrance and lobby. And on this side is a lobby bar. There's nothing separating them wall-wise to the lobby bar. It's just the hardwood floor versus a carpet on this side. And then there's a big pole kind of right in the middle. When you first see the video, Michael is outside taking pictures, as these guys will describe to you. And the accuser here is behind the front desk of the hotel. The accuser then, as she sees Michael coming back, walks out from behind the front desk, and it appears to me to be approaching Michael and his group. Michael's group's coming in this way. Michael doesn't clearly, and no one in the group notices her yet. Unfortunately, the exact moment that they meet is behind the pole. So you can't exactly tell who talked to who, but I believe the witnesses will clean that up for us. They both meet, and then they walk to where they're in the middle of the lobby. And remember, this is a public lobby with tons of people going back and forth. When they first greet each other, they shake hands, and Michael starts to talk to her. Michael, in this interaction, touches her a sum total of 4 times. He shakes her hand at the beginning. He shakes her hand at the end. He one time touches her on the elbow, as many of you who have interviewed Michael knows he does when he talks, for a very brief moment. And one other time, he buckles over laughing, and he kind of brushes her with his hand against her other elbow. That is it. She clearly never acts upset. She doesn't back away from Michael. She doesn't act like there's any kind of problems going on there at all. The conversation lasts about 1.5 minutes. As I said, they shook hands and then walk away.
Irvin struggled to hold back tears at various points during the press conference. When it was his turn to speak, here is what he had to say.
I want to start by saying I appreciate all the support that I've gotten from everybody. But this sickens me. This sickens me. Because in this great country, this takes me back to a time where a white man would accuse a white woman would accuse a black man of something. And they would take a bunch of guys that were above the law, run in the barn, put a rope around his foot, and drag him through the mud and hang him by the tree. Not a thought about what would happen, not an investigation, not after repeated attempts of people trying to go and say, guys, here's what really happened. Here is what really happened. Here are witnesses that'll say this. Here's witnesses that'll say that. They said, we don't want to hear. We do not want to hear. How can I defend myself if I don't even know what I'm defending myself against? They asked me, they said, do you remember this girl you met in the lobby? I work and I live in hotels. I stay in hotels all year long from August to September. I meet people every day walking in and out of a lobby. I couldn't even tell you what she looked like. I don't know. I don't even know who I'm talking about. When I'm talking about I'm supposed to do something. This just blows my mind that in 2023, we still dragging and hanging brothers by a tree. To not listen to the court. Marriott is above the law. Because I still haven't seen this tape. I haven't seen this tape. I want to see what I'm being accused of, why I've had put my whole life on hold, why my family had to endure it. And if I did something wrong, I'll suffer the consequences of me doing something wrong. But if you did something wrong, you meaning them, then they should suffer the consequences of what they did wrong. It's just sickening.
Irvin's lawyer accused Marriott of violating the court's order by refusing to allow him and Irvin to make copies of the videotape for themselves.
We believe these things were in violation of the court's order.
So before the press conference, Irvin's lawyer filed an emergency motion in which he asked the court to order Marriott to produce copies of the surveillance footage to Irvin for their own files.
We have filed an emergency plaintiff's motion to enforce court order to try to get the video. It was filed this morning. We're hopeful we'll get the video to share it, but we think we're far enough along in the case now to say the allegations are nonsense. And we need to immediately get Michael back to work, and I believe that Renaissance needs to apologize to him.
At the end of the press conference, we got to hear from two of the TMZ witnesses talk about some additional details related to the interaction that they observed between Irvin and his alleged accuser. First, we heard from Phil from Australia. Here's what he had to say.
G'day guys. So myself and my business colleagues, we were out in the front lobby, obviously with Michael. Obviously we had some fan-white pictures and then re-entered the lobby. I was checking my phone when a young lady approached Michael, and there was nothing really untoward out of the interaction because essentially I was checking the pictures, and basically I heard some laughter. I looked up, there was a few handshakes, there was some more laughter, and they went their separate ways. Michael went back to the lift and obviously continued on his night. I take it he went back to his bedroom, and the lady returned to roughly around the bar area.
Phil, are you an NFL fan?
No, I'm not actually. Believe it or not, I apologize to the guys here in Dallas, but the Super Bowl that weekend was the first game I've ever watched. Okay. So, yeah.
Okay, so
I didn't know who Michael was before this event.
And I'll just ask you one more question. Did you see anything at all that would cause you concern or you thought was inappropriate in Mr. Irvin's behavior towards this woman?
No, not at all.
Okay. And you're aware that you're actually on the video that I've seen, and so we know that you were there, correct?
Yeah, that's correct, yes.
Okay.
Then we briefly heard from Bryn, the second witness who was interviewed by TMZ during the Super Bowl week, who roots for the Dallas Cowboys' arch rival, the Philadelphia Eagles. Here's what he had to say before his connection was cut short.
Bryn,
good morning, everybody.
If you tell your experience and then tell about the terrible, horrible football team you root for, I'd appreciate it.
No, yeah. So like Phil had said, we had a business meeting around, I don't know, a little after 10 at the Renaissance, and I am from Philadelphia, so we recognized Michael. The other gentleman I was with, we noticed Michael on the other side of the bar, which was pretty cool. I mean, you know, I've known who he was since we were little. I'm an Eagles fan, so I grew up hating him, but it was still exciting to see him. And so, you know, we offered to buy him a drink because we thought it'd be cool to buy Michael Irvin a drink. And he came over and said, you know, sorry. He said, I have ESPN tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I can't take a drink, but I really appreciate it. And then we started going back and forth about Jalen Hurts being a fantasy or being a dynasty, blah, blah, blah. I had a really cool, quick conversation. He saw that I had my phone in my hand and asked if I wanted to get a picture. which was nice because obviously that's what I wanted to do. We stepped outside, took a few pictures, and came back in. And when we entered back in, a woman had come around the corner, kind of met Michael at the corner. They had a very brief interaction that was super friendly, lots of laughter. And Michael went back to his room. I went back to my seat, and 2 days later, I read about the story that we're talking about now.
At the end of the press conference, holding back tears, Michael Irvin shared the following final thoughts.
So I appreciate everybody showing up today.
Wait, let me say this, guys.
Okay.
I kind of lost it just listening to Phil talk, because I'm struggling. This is what I struggle with. You try to be an ambassador of the league, and also understand that God has blessed me and given me a platform, and try to touch people, try to raise people, try to lift people up. And I don't know, I met a lot of fans, but I've always tried to be good with people. I'm struggling now saying, do I not talk to people? What do I do? Because of this kind of a situation, I know I didn't do anything wrong. And I was trying to do everything right. So it's just, though I say that, I got to come back to this moment. Had I not said to these guys, you know what, you cool guys, let's go outside and take that picture, then they wouldn't have been right there with me. And that would have been a moment that I've had alone, and I know nobody's going to listen to what I say. Nobody, still, at least Marriott, don't want to hear what we have to say. Don't want to hear what I have to say, don't even care to share it. So, I just got emotional thinking about it because I'm struggling with that, on what to do moving forward after I deal with all of this. That's all I want to say, guys.
If you don't want to miss any of my updates on this developing story, then make sure to hit that subscribe button below and turn the bell notification icon on. And of course, as always, thank you for watching.